InObscuria.
Welcome back, my friends, to the InObscuria podcast, a podcast where we exhume obscure rock and punk and metal.
Damn.
Look at that.
That was good, man.
Yeah,
Did you stretch beforehand?
Ow.
Did you warm up? Yeah, wait a minute. No. Doctor said no sopranic effects for a month.
There it goes. I got mesh in my stomach. I should have remembered that.
Yeah, it's not Velcro, it's mesh.
Well, my name is Kevin Williams, at least for a little bit longer, and the man you just heard, Mr. Robert Harrison. What's going on?
Not much. Apparently my stomach is going to be the special guest tonight. So right before we started recording, Kevin said he heard my stomach through the microphone gurgling.
I've never, ever, and it's up at mouth level. Yes, it is not down in the gut.
And
I heard the stomach
2 feet
come
away.
through the microphone.
It was so loud. So the reason for that is I gorged on barbecue ribs about an hour ago, and my stomach is still kind of processing that gorgy. It was awesome, man. I mean, I think I'm wearing my Lemmy shirt.
And it's stretched.
It was stretched. But
it's got bones poking out
There might
of
be
it.
some sauce, some barbecue sauce on Lemmy's face here. So
I forgot to mention that we put our songs in one of three categories: the lost, the forgotten, or the should have beens. I've never done that before. I completely forgot.
I interrupted your monologue.
Well, you know,
your soliloquy. Soliloquy. Damn it.
Try to say that again.
Let me start drinking again. Soliloquy. There we go.
Wow.
Never talk before you start drinking.
Yeah, exactly.
Drink first, then talk.
Well, let's just mention real quick, we are going to the Rock and Pod Expo August 6th through 8th.
6th through 8th?
August 6th through the 8th.
This August.
Oh,
wow.
Yes, we are.
Do we have to wear a mask?
Hopefully not.
Oh, God.
Hopefully we'll be all good.
Because I'm not going to. I mean, I may wear like a scary mask or something like that.
We could actually buy some of our own mask and wear an InObscuria mask.
Nothing like self-promotion.
Exactly.
Amen.
If nothing else, we'll just wear them on our junk and nothing else.
Nice. Chili pepper style.
Exactly. Yeah, we're going to be there August 6th to the 8th. Go and visit rockandpodexpo.com. Come join us. There's a whole lot of stuff going on, a whole lot of guests, whole lot of musicians that you can meet and have them sign your albums. And just go to rockandpodexpo.com. You can see daily who they're adding and book your hotel, everything there. We're going to be at the Hilton Airport Hotel. You book, you stay there all weekend, you party with us, and you don't have to drive. You don't have to worry about having a few beers and getting out there. So
and I just got a link to an old school arcade that's like this massive warehouse full of old school 80s and early 90s video games in Nashville. Free to play. Mm-hmm. They want you to buy alcohol and stuff like that, but the games, you can just play as many games as you want to. So I think we need a trip there.
I actually went there.
Oh, you've been there?
2 or 3 years ago. So I think it was after the first Rock and Pod.
Oh,
we mentioned last week, Jeremy went the first year with me. It was his birthday. So I thought, we'll go to Nashville, we'll do the Rock and Pod thing and see what that's all about. And we'll also go see our good friend Brandon Still's band, Blackberry Smoke. Mm-hmm. They happen to be opening for Government Mule.
Nice.
Good same weekend. That was amazing. And of course, you know, Brandon being the cool dude that he is, he let us come and we stood on the side of the stage for Government Mule, at least. It was amazing. Wow. And then afterwards, I guess while their crew was tearing down, I went with Paul, who's the guitarist, and Brandon to this arcade bar place that's huge. And we just played arcade games all night long and drank beer. It was great.
Once the expo's over, it kind of winds down. Everybody else goes to bed.
Yeah.
We're heading there.
Yeah, that's also, I think the night before then, we did something that we're not going to do when you and I go, and we'll talk about that later. We went to a couple of bars that, anyway.
What, of ill repute?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, you go to bed. I'm going out. I've got nobody in this world to answer to, so...
Yeah, I don't know how I got.
I'm calling ahead for the VIP champagne room. Thank you very much.
you go ahead. Get the VIP golden shower room. Oh wait, is that champagne? No,
that's the other bar. That's South Nashville.
Well, after you get soiled, go listen to Pot of Thunder, Growing Up Rock, Slamfest podcast, Decibel Geek, Podcast Rock City, Cobras and Fire, Rock Strikes 10, Metal Up Your Podcast, The Dummy Room, History Science Theater, State of Amorica, Potter Than Hell, Podkiss, The Kiss Room, I Love It Loudcast, Ages of Rock, The Synaptic Empire, and don't forget about Monty's Rockcast. Come visit us at InObscuria.com. Like us, share us, recommend us. Come just say hello to us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm done.
Good.
That's all the stuff. Yeah, that's it. That's my radio.
All right, you want me to take over?
All right,
so tonight we've got these things. Let me read from the list here. And according to our listeners and the mailbag, all these letters that people send us. All right. That's kind of
you have one in front of you? Yeah. Why don't you read that out?
Oh, yeah, let me read this letter from Mel in Des Moines, Iowa.
Toledo.
Hey, guys. I'll read it as Mel. Hey, guys. Like the show, man.
You guys are awesome.
That's so good. That one time, when you said that thing, that was awesome. It was
awesome.
And Rush sucks.
Why don't you play more Kiss? Oh, man. Well, usually I reach out to the spirit world to get our subjects. This week I did not do that, and here's the reason. It's getting warmer, number one.
Thank God.
And we're in Atlanta, so it's getting really warm. It's going to be almost 80 degrees tomorrow.
Hell yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
I am
Florida
built
style
for the heat.
weather.
I am built for that heat, man.
Spring is pretty much done, right? It's here. I'd say it's here.
It's not done. It's here solidly.
No, I mean, it's springing.
It's sprung.
I guess winter is done.
No, winter
spring
is done.
Here.
Technically, 10 more days and spring will be here officially, but we got the benefit of an early spring thanks to General Beauregard Lee, who is our version of Puxatawny Phil.
General Beauregard Lee.
That's his name. So all of you who are not from the deep South.
I think we have to cancel his name out.
Yeah, it's not politically correct,
really.
but it's Beauregard. Come on. But it's the Lee part that people cringe at these days.
Right.
So, yeah, we got early
because we don't like
spring.
Chinese.
And so, yeah, by the time spring gets here, no more blizzards this year, no more 2 feet of snow. It's just going to be beautiful.
Okay. Well, we got that going for us. People are getting vaccinated. There's the other nice thing that's going on as well.
Getting their jabs.
And the main reason I didn't need to go to the spirit world, I didn't have to do any Ouija board or any voodoo, is because this is episode 69.
What? I would have made a cake or something, man, to celebrate this very particular episode.
A penis cake. Yeah, episode 69, so it's time to party.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do episode 69. It's been a while, but it's time for Beneath the Hair, Volume 3, Forgotten Glam Metal. New growth.
I'm not sure about the combination of the hair and the 69 and all the connotations that go along with that.
Something spring to mind?
Old school.
Well, here's what we're talking about. So the Wikipedia definition, because that's the ultimate source for everything that we do here
in the podcast world.
In the podcast world, yes. So the wiki definition of glam metal.
Wiki.
Glam metal, also known as hair metal or pop metal, is a subgenre of heavy metal which features pop-influenced hooks and guitar riffs and borrows heavily from the fashion and image of 1970s glam rock. Maybe. I don't know about that.
I mean,
let's just be honest. Glam metal is 80s. It's super 80s.
Glam rock is 70s.
Glam rock is 70s.
Glam
and that's what freaks
80s.
Robert out, so we can never go there again.
Well, it's the ones you picked, you weirdo. You're picking the weird stuff. Come on, man.
So we're talking about bands like Motley Crue, Rat, Quiet Riot, Twisted Sister, Stryper, Def Leppard, Bon Jovi, Dokken. Those are the ones everybody thinks of when you think of
Winger, Warrant.
Glam metal. Winger, Warrant. Yeah. So, and then you had the, I guess, mid 80s brought in the Poison, Skid Row, Cinderella, Warrant. So that's what most people think of, right? Well, today we're going to talk about something that has happened more recently. So glam metal basically suffered a decline after grunge kicked it in the balls.
I wouldn't say a decline. It was a drop off of a cliff.
Well, we did talk about there are some bands that continued on till like 92, 93, but you're right. From a popularity standpoint, swift kick to the nuts and dropped.
Within a year.
Yeah. But glam metal had a resurgence in the late 90s. I think about a band like Buck Cherry. They were basically a glam metal band.
Yeah, their hair was a little shorter, but they really were in all intents and purposes.
That's about the time when these bands that we just mentioned started doing reunion tours and shed tours, and a lot of them would get together and do these big group shed tours where there'd be 4 or 5 bands on tour. And then we started seeing newer, younger groups come out in the 2000s, and they were predominantly UK and European bands. And I'm thinking, ultimately, I think of the Darkness is kind of kicking it all off.
Absolutely.
And they actually had some major success here in the States, but really they were huge in England, UK, Europe, and then of course our best friends in hard rock, the country of Sweden, produced at least 1 million bands that kind of embraced this music that was glam metal. So what we're going to talk about, this is new growth. So we're going to talk about these bands that were newer. They came out in the 2000s or in the last decade, or they're still going, but they're very much so carrying the torch of those 80s glam metal bands. So that's what we're going to talk about. And we're going to jump right into a band from South Wales. They've been playing pubs and clubs in the UK and doing the outdoor festivals in Wales. And I stumbled onto them via Facebook. The old algorithm got me. I love it when that happens, actually, because I've discovered some great bands that way.
Wow, because I get stuff like ads for lawn equipment, weird shit.
I don't get that, but I get stuff that I don't want either.
Oh, okay.
For some reason, Facebook knows that I'm an uber dork, and I keep getting like Dungeons and Dragons stuff and fantasy things.
I don't know how old you are. Apparently,
I don't search out any of that. I don't know where that's coming from.
Well, because you searched one time, Rush, right there.
You're probably right.
Forever linked to nerds.
So I get all the dorky stuff, and I get a lot of music stuff, and I discovered this band called Whiskey Lies.
Oh,
I thought it was going to be like a country.
That could go either way.
Southern rock
that
kind
could go
thing,
either way.
And there's apparently several bands called Whiskey Lies. If you Google it, you're going to get all sorts of stuff.
Is that when you're like, I'm not drunk, I haven't had anything to drink? That's
much.
A lie.
So they've only had 2 EPs, 2015 and 2017. I, of course, own both of them. And they must have split up in 2018 because I started following them on Facebook after I discovered them in 2017. And I haven't seen any posts since 2018. So I'm assuming they're done, or they're very bad at promotion.
And we have seen that. They aren't the first, but that's probably a bad sign.
But I think they're pretty kick-ass, and we're going to check out the title track called Don't Think from their Don't Think EP that came out in 2015. Check it out, Whiskey Lies.
No time for shedding tears. I need you on my side. I need some energy, but oh so tenderly. I need you on your feet. No one's expecting this. No time to reminisce. This really won't take long. We are a rocking band, and it's time to make a stand. Our name is Whiskey Lies. Everyone around me, grab a drink. Don't think. The music's playing loud. I gotta love this crowd. Strange things are happening. Things are heating up. I see some empty cups. Nobody gives a damn about their screams and dancing choice, jumping and singing voice. We're all here to rejoice. No time for violence. Soft music, soothing strings. We're here to blow your mind. Guitars are pounding hard. Bass drum, don't be alarmed. Drums here to smash up your soul.
All right. Hang on. I got a lot to say. We probably won't need to play any more songs because this is going to take a while.
That's it. We're done.
We're done. All right. So where do I start? Great song. Loved it. The beginning, it's one of those classic intros where the lead singer's out there clapping his hands above his head, getting the audience to clap along. Yep. Yeah, come on. Yeah, let me see those hands. But you didn't hear that, but I imagined it.
But it was going on in your head.
It was going on in my head.
Got it.
And so the song kicks in. It's got lyrics that I can totally picture Jesse James Dupree from Jackal singing. It's about drinking whiskey. Yeah. The lead solo, holy effing cripes. That was a ripping solo. I mean, it came out of nowhere because my next comment is the rhythm guitar got annoying. It was so repetitive and so clean that's what killed that song for me. One of my gripes, other than that, it was a good song. It sounds like they plugged into the back of that amp, direct output, ran it to the board, and recorded it directly from the amp. There's no fuzz, no sound, no reverb, not even reverb on that sound. And
it was real dry.
Hair bands. Yeah. All about the guitar tone. So they almost redeemed themselves with that lead.
Good tone on the lead, though, because he had the wah going and you got a little effect on it, a little echo on it or something.
And that lead singer needs to do coke. Seriously, he needs to do a couple of bumps, maybe a line. I don't know what his tolerance is, but during the song, there was so much dead space that you picture somebody like a David Lee Roth or, once again, Jesse James Dupree, any of the hairband frontmen.
Who would fill it in with a little...
Libbity now, bam, yeah. And that's what I picture as hair metal.
Right.
It's got all those elements. So it was a good rockin' song, and I think that would be like if it was a demo. Like, hell yeah, that's a great demo. Go back and polish that into a hairband song.
Well, I'm wondering if that's basically what this was. This is a self-released EP from these guys. Had they, been picked up by someone maybe who was going to throw a little more recording time money at them and maybe play with the tones a little bit more, but overall, man, that's pretty good. I think it's a rockin' band. I agree with you that it gets a little stale, the tone of the guitar, and they could have done something a little wetter, something a little, I don't know, a little meatier. I thought the lead was awesome.
Yeah, like I said, it just almost redeemed itself with that.
And you gotta love a band that basically is singing about themselves because they mention their name in the second verse.
That was the other thing, exactly.
We're Whiskey Lies.
I give them props for that because Skid Row did it.
Yeah.
You name it.
Love it.
Almost all bands reference themselves at some point.
Yeah, it's kind of like that rapper thing where you basically talk about yourself the whole time because you're just that egotistical.
You're the best. Screw everybody else. I don't need to talk about love. I'm talking about me.
Exactly.
So, that was the other point. Yeah, they did slip that in there, so I give them props for that.
But fun, right? 2015, that's not what most bands out there were playing, especially young bands.
But I'd go see that show.
I would go see it, too. Fortunately, it sounds like they're not around. So
if they were around.
If they come back. Maybe they just took some time off.
Yeah, and I'd leave a little baggie right there on the drum kit and say, here, this is for the lead singer. Just give it to him. He'll know what to do with it.
All right, moving on. Well, we got to talk about Sweden. Of course we do.
Sweet.
A Swedish glam band formed in 2002. I'm talking about a band that has kind of sustained this whole we're new, but we're glam metal and we're flying the flag for, what used to be based in Hollywood and now is basically moved to Sweden, I think. And this band's called Crazy Lixx. Lixx.
Oh, nice. Two X's.
Yeah, two X's.
Two X's. Oh, okay.
They should have really gone for the triple X, to be honest. Missed opportunity, maybe.
Brittany Fox, did they have three X's?
No, one X.
One X?
Brittany Fox had one.
So they went two. So they got one more.
Crazy Lixx.
One more.
One extra X here.
Nice.
Yeah. Their original guitarist left after their first album to go to another band that we played on our Sweden Rocks episode. That was episode 25. We had a Sweden Rocks episode, and we played this band called Hardcore Superstar, which is another one of the bands that's kind of in this genre who's really been flying the flag for everything that was glam metal 80s and now. So we got two bands out of this band, basically, and they've had 6 albums from 2007 to 2019. And a live album. You got to have a live album.
Oh, true. That's another little cliche I like.
You got to do it. People want to hear what you were just talking about. Come on, people.
Yeah,
clap your hands.
People.
Got to throw in some Paul Stanley. Now, they're on Frontiers Records, and I'm mentioning that because a lot of these bands are on Frontiers Records that we're going to talk about. It's an Italian label that basically resurrected the whole glam metal scene over the last 25 years, and literally every 80s glam metal band that has come back to life and put out something new is basically on this label.
The owner is a real big fan of hair metal.
Yeah, and then a lot of these new bands are on this label as well because this is obviously what they love, and they do a really good job, and usually usually the production's pretty damn good. So everything sounds like it should have been in the 80s. So check out some crazy Lixx. This is from their first album called Loud Minority, and this is a song called Pure Desire.
Dude, we are going to Sweden. Get your freaking passport.
And your spandex.
As soon as airplanes are not flying Petri dishes, we are going to Sweden. It's maybe next year.
Okay, if you just heard that.
Yes, of course. I know what you're saying, man.
Would you know that was from 2007?
Never would have guessed it was from 2007. I would have said 86, 87-ish, maybe 88.
In my head, I've mentioned this so many times, and I'm going to say it again. I did not have MTV growing up. The only way I got MTV was through some really bad VHS tapes that my cousin would send me from North Carolina.
You would record
and they always had
MTV?
He would record MTV. He would record Headbangers Ball, and he would send it to me in the mail.
Nice.
And it always had
have that.
it always had that tracking issue.
Oh,
and that's what the vision was in my head. It was a really bad video with that tracking stuff going on.
It's almost like watching it through the filter, the sensor filter, like getting a 2-second glimpse of porn, and then it goes back to
and
fuzzy.
You get like a little fuzzy line on the side, and they might be warped a little bit for and you even get some.
The sound's off just a tad.
But that was the vision I had.
God, those guys nailed it. Absolutely nailed everything. The guitars, everything I just said about the first band, they listened to me and did it right. So I'm happy that I'm that much of an influence on
Exactly. And how about we're going to steal from Motley Crue. We're going to steal from every band that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
And we're going to lift the entire bridge. It's going to be a Def Leppard bridge. And that's what we got with the big, huge.
Yeah. And then drop it down.
Drop it down, which is what Def Leppard did.
Got to drop it down.
Big, huge chorus that sounds like it's at least 80 people in the studio.
Yeah. They used all the tracks on that chorus, all the vocal tracks. Like, hey, get that guy. He's emptying the trash out in the parking lot. Get him in here. Yeah, he's going to sing a lick.
I love this band, man. For doing what they're doing, they're really good at it.
Yes, I want to go see their show. Seriously.
And I think they're one of the bands that there's a lot of these cruises, like the Kiss cruise that we went on. There's a lot of these cruises that are dedicated mainly to hard rock and metal. And I think these are the types of bands that they have on there, along with the older bands.
We're taking the show on the road, man. If you get a cruise like that, we're taking the show on the the seas, on the high seas.
I'm not stepping on a boat right now.
No, we're talking a year, next year. But
not sure
we can start planning.
True.
Planning ahead.
Well, it's not just Sweden that rocks. There's actually some of these bands still in America. And I'm going to talk about a band from California. Where do you think they're from? They're a hair metal band. Where are they going to be from?
San Diego?
Sacramento. That's where this band's from.
I almost said that. There was 2 cities. They were fighting it out for a brief millisecond, and I said San Diego.
Yeah, Sunset Strip. No, this is from Sacramento.
It's the capital of California.
It is. Very good. Very good.
I know my geometry.
This is a band formed in 2004, and they're called EndeverafteR. One word. EndeverafteR.
That's hard. It's hard. EndeverafteR.
Mm-hmm.
Minus a point for making me stutter.
All right. Well, they did pretty well for themselves and got themselves signed to Epic Records in 2006, which how a band playing this style of music got signed to Epic Records in 2006. 2006.
What are some other bands on Epic Records for comparison?
I don't know. In 2006, I don't know. We'd have to go look that up. And I'm not doing that.
Okay, well, I'll reach out to staff while we're listening to this song.
Go see what you can find out. They did tour in 2006 with Cinderella and Poison in the U.S. They opened for Kiss in Japan. So they did fairly well for themselves.
That'd be a fun trip.
Now, even though they were signed with Epic Records, they never released an album. So, you see, what happens? What happens? Label changes at Epic Sony left their debut stranded and shelved in 2007.
Just like Injected.
Same thing that happened.
Episode. Yep. Bastards.
Damn music business.
God, I hate them.
God. Yeah, but they did have a single that hit number 25 on the U.S. Billboard Mainstream Rock Tracks chart, and it was also featured on Rock Band 2. So they had a single get out. In 2008, they performed a show with Motley Crue on the Motley Cruise, and that's a 4-day... Wait, let me back up here. Motley Cruise? Was that a real thing?
Yeah.
I thought I had a typo.
No, it's a thing. No, they're whores. They pimped themselves out almost as bad as Kiss.
That was with Vince Neil, Skid Row, Slaughter, and Rat. So again, these guys are doing pretty well. They finally got their album released, and then they split up in 2012.
A bitch.
Bummer. But their founder, Michael Grant, joined LA Guns in 2013. So he was one of 65 people that have been in LA Guns. And
it's nice to have his turn, though.
Yeah, so they had the one full-length, one EP. He left LA Guns, and now I think he's doing solo stuff. Really, only this one full-length, one EP, and one unreleased album sitting on the shelf. So they finally got a new album released, but they never released the one that got shelved. We're going to play from the one that did get released. This is called Kiss or Kill, is the name of the album. Came out in 2007, and the song we're going to play is Let Go.
feedback. Yeah,
Always does.
It always does it for me. When did you say that came out?
2007.
2007. So I like it. To me, it seems more like a revival of the earlier revival around 2000, like Buck Cherry style glam. So it was like a revival of glam metal.
A little more modern.
A little more modern, but I like it. Yeah, where the band from Sweden was just completely a time warp.
Right.
Like just completely pulled out of 1980s scene. But yeah, that one was just an updated version of it. So, it's like when they came out with a new Dodge Charger. Hey, it's not like the old one, but it's got air conditioning and it actually drives straight.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. The whole album's really good. I think you're right. They sound a little more of the time, and it almost sounds like he's auditioning. Hey, I'm out here. I'd love to be in LA Guns. So,
do they do Ballad of Jane?
That was probably the next song.
That's a shame.
After the feedback.
After the feedback, yeah. They go, because the Power Ballad's usually the second song.
Yeah. Good band. I totally dig them. Again, the one album, and then he went on to be in LA Guns. So
as the singer, obviously.
Guitarist, singer.
Oh, guitarist and singer. Okay. Hey, that's fun. It's more than I got to do.
So let's move on to our hometown. We actually have
Fort Walton Beach, Florida?
No. Atlanta.
Oh, Atlanta. Okay.
Yeah, we actually have a few bands from Atlanta that are doing this thing right now. And there's one that's been around since the mid-90s, and they still play almost every weekend in the Atlanta surrounding areas up north.
Yeah.
This is a band called Mad Margritt. You've probably seen their name in
I've always seen their name on Facebook. What's the bar up in Mad Life Studios?
Sure.
Yeah, it's a bar venue up north of here, about 45 minutes. So yeah,
and that's primarily where these guys they play all over. Yeah. And seriously, almost every weekend these guys are playing a lot. They just love what they do, and they were formed in the mid '90s. They released their very first album in '97.
Damn,
and
they've been around longer than we were.
They've been around a long time. In '99 to 2001, they toured, opening for bands like Rat and Cinderella, Great White, Warrant, Slaughter, Quiet Riot, Skid Row, Bullet Boys. This is from their page.
They need to be guests on this show.
Yeah, they should. Tesla, Every Mother's Nightmare, and Pretty Boy Floyd. I mean, they played with Pretty Boy
Floyd. Damn, wow.
Dude.
Okay, just throw that cock out there. Look at me.
They might want to take that one off the old website there.
That one didn't age. Like Motley Crue, Skid Row. Yeah, Pretty Boy Floyd. What?
I don't think it was good the first time around.
Yeah, that was an add-on.
That's my humble opinion. If you love Pretty Boy Floyd and you're in the fan club, I'm sorry.
Sorry, apologize. We're terribly sorry.
Apologies.
That was totally. Don't cancel us.
They've released 6 full-length albums from '97 to 2016. They signed with Paris Records, which was another one of these record companies that was really focusing on bands like this. And Paris Records, I remember, had Tiger Tails, so we've played Tiger Tails on one of our previous episodes. And they played shows with Kiss and Poison and Whitesnake in the early 2000s, and again, more shows over the years with, and I'm assuming most of these are like opening, like when these bands come to, Kiss, I'm not sure, but when these bands come to our area, they might be doing, I don't know that they're touring, but we should hook up with them and find out. But I'm going to play a song off of their album called Animal that came out in 2007. There's a lot of 2007s on here, I just realized. This should be the year in rock, 2007. This song is called Don't Say a Word.
Why do we throw it all away? So much to talk about, but sometimes words just get in the way. Why try to explain it? Some things are better left unsaid. Don't say a word, let me feel your body next to me. Don't need to make a sound, your touch is all I need. Don't say a word, let me feel your body next to me. Don't need to make a sound, your touch is all I need. It's all I need to make it through this stormy night. Knowing that you're here next to me, it's all I need. Don't say a word, let me feel your body next to me. Don't need to make a sound, your touch is all I need. Don't say a word, let me feel your body next to me. Don't need to make a sound, your touch is all I need. Don't say a word. Don't need to make a sound. That's what I need.
Complete with a fade out.
Oh,
That
thank you for pointing that
Is
out.
1987.
Yes,
Not 2007.
I've forgotten about that. But that guitar player needs to teach the other guys how to make your guitar sound like 80s rock. That was awesome. And the singer had that ultra sopranic thing at the end. And I'm like, oh, nice touch there, sir.
How about the harmony leads?
A lot of the guitar harmonies, yes.
Love
yeah,
the
all
guitar
that.
harmonies.
That was also one that could probably be played as if it were late 80s. And I don't think I'd pick up on that.
If you told me that was an unreleased track from the Keel album that came out in 1987,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, they just found
Okay.
this sitting
Got it.
around and they just released it.
Nice.
Yeah, like cool.
And these guys they're local and they literally play every weekend in bars around.
It's so funny because I've seen the advertisement for their shows and I couldn't figure out what type of music. And I didn't look into it any further, but I saw the name. I'm like, well, that can be anything. I mean, I didn't know if they were a cover band or if they're whatever, but now that I know what they're doing, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so I don't know.
As soon as I get my jab.
I assume that if they're playing this much, that they're probably doing covers as well.
Sure.
And I'm sure they do some amazing
but they're
covers.
not a cover band.
Right. And I'm sure they do some amazing covers of 80s hair metal.
And that venue that I'm thinking of is known for having every tribute band that you could possibly think of go through there. From Van Halen, The Journey, Bon Jovi, all the tribute bands that come through here play at this particular venue.
Which is a big thing now.
Yeah, and that's why I was surprised when they said, no, this is original music on their advertisement. I'm like, oh, wow, they actually have an original band. And when you and I were playing, these tribute bands weren't around. I mean, it was just, you would go see original bands.
They were cover bands, but there weren't tribute bands.
Yeah, they were cover bands. This whole tribute band thing where you play all one band's music.
There was only like the ones that we mentioned way back, which was like Strutter. There were the ones that were like more
OG,
nuanced, and they were touring tribute bands. Now there's multiple tribute bands for a single band.
Yeah.
Like there's probably, I don't know, 4 Nirvana tribute bands in Atlanta now.
Mm-hmm. There's got to be at least 2 or 3 Van Halen, Crew. God, hell, Jeremy, guest host last week.
Yeah, Foo Fighters.
And I thought that was kind of new. I haven't heard of another Foo Fighters cover band, but
they do a
tribute
good job.
band.
Those guys are great. Anyway, yeah. So So I think they knocked it out of the park. I actually want to go hear some of their other music. I've had this album for a long time, and I honestly thought it was the only album they released. And I saw, I've heard of Mad Margritt here locally for a long time, and I just assumed that it was another one of these cases where there was another band called Mad Margritt. Because I had this recording I got from eMusic back in 2010-ish, and it was one of those things where I just saw the album cover with the girl breaking through bars of like a zoo or something, and it's called Animal. I'm like, oh, I'm going to like this. I know exactly what this is going to sound like. I listened to it and I loved it.
You like Caged Women.
I'm like, here's a newer band playing hair metal. Lovely.
We'll see if we can look up who their booking agent is and get a hold of them.
Yeah, we should, man. It'd be cool. All right, well, moving on. This next band, I tried at least 45 minutes of doing Google searches and going through Facebook and all this, and I couldn't find anything for this next band that was not something that they wrote themselves.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
So they're good at self-promotion as opposed to the first band.
Yeah, everything in every site I went to, even the ones that looked like they were interviews, it always had the write-up, the same write-up that this band had on their website. So it was lazy interviewing and reporting that I found. But this band is called Miss Crazy, and I couldn't even find exactly where they're from. I believe they're from San Francisco. And originally they had a girl playing bass that I believe they kind of called her Miss Crazy, and so they kind of named the band after her. She's no longer in the band, and the band's still around, and there's even a Miss Crazy Records, but you just can't get the bio. So they're good at promoting with a single paragraph about themselves, but they don't go into enough detail to give somebody like me who's just doing a quick search trying to find out about them any real valid information.
Just make up something like we did.
And maybe that's the thing. Maybe they're trying to be elusive, but they do, like Kiss, they do wear white painted faces that have various designs on them.
Juggalo does that too, you know that.
I do know that.
Okay.
Yeah,
just making sure.
I don't think they're juggalos, but they may be, who knows. But yeah, they wear white painted faces like other artists that we know. They've released 5 full-length albums from 2006 to 2019, and I believe they even have a covers album that came out that I stumbled upon and then I couldn't find it again. So I don't know what was going on with Google that night, but
have you turned your computer off and turned it back on again?
Yeah, I probably should, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
I don't have any more information than that. Miss Crazy, I have an album called Miss Crazy, and I have an album called 2. And I'm going to play something from Miss Crazy. It's called Scream.
like that song for a couple of reasons. One of them is the fact that it just feels like it would be a really fun song to play live because I could totally play that rhythm part, which is just 3 chords through the whole song. Right. Like I could drink beer and play that rhythm track. I mean, the rhythm part at the same time, live on stage. I feel confident I could do that. So yeah, that intrigues me a lot. But the singer's great, just fast, balls to the wall, rock and roll. I love it.
Reminds me of, like, I would say 1989, kind of that almost getting into the 90s. You had these kind of second, third tier hair metal bands like Jet Boy,
Bullet Boys.
Scene, Bullet Boys, and Love Hate is the one that this band to me sounds a lot.
I don't even know.
I'll
have to look that up. I don't even remember Love Hate.
You should look him up. The lead singer for Love Hate was named Jizzy Pearl. And he's been in a bunch of other groups as well. And I actually saw Love Hate open for, I want to say it was the Dio hologram show. I think.
My God.
I think Love Hate opened that gig.
It's the hookiest thing in the world, but I totally would pay to go see that.
Oh my God, it was amazing. I was there with Stephen Michael of the Growing Up Rock podcast, and we just had a blast. We sat there and watched Dio hologram, and it was awesome.
I would take that.
Ripper Owens was there too. Ripper was singing. Yeah, they had a couple other singers. They bring out Holodio. They bring out Holodio for a little bit, and then the other singers would come out, and it was interesting.
Yeah, because he was old and dead, so he would get tired on stage really easily.
I love that they kept him the same size of a man that he was. So yeah, it was almost like watching R2-D2 project Princess Leia, the little
4'11"
exactly.
of him coming out on stage.
Yeah, you would have thought they would have, like Holodio might be 6'7".
Zoom in, please.
Big.
He's dead. Let him be normal size, people.
Oh well.
Him and Klaus Meiner.
That was
between
an interesting show, man. Yeah, him and Klaus. Yeah,
put them next to each other on stage. Okay, no, I was going to ask you this a few seconds ago before the Dio thing. What was the band we featured that had the video with the 4-neck guitar, the hair band? Do you remember talking about that?
With the 4-neck guitar.
That
was Nitro.
Nitro, yeah. The most god awful hairband ever because they just went to the Nitro. Nth, 11th degree on everything. But anyway, that's when you get into that really crazy the late 80s, where the wheels were starting to fall off.
Yeah. What else can we do to be different?
Yeah, things were starting to wobble a little bit, and they were just throwing shit at the wall to see what would stick.
Well, even Steve Vai had that big heart guitar that had 3 necks on it. I always thought that was ridiculous.
So that's why Nitro had 4. Okay, I see.
Exactly. What was that guitarist's name? Like Michelangelo Badio or something.
Yeah, the hair on them. I mean, I read a whole article on them, and it was so ridiculous on everything they did. But that's what was expected of people at the time. More and more ridiculous.
If you want that guitar, I believe I saw something maybe less than a year ago that guitar was for sale. The guy was selling it.
Does it actually work?
Yeah, I think it unhooks. I think it all hooks together. Yeah, it works.
Because he was, the video, he was just goofing around. He wasn't really playing it in the video, but I would love to see somebody actually play.
He plays every neck.
Yeah, right.
So we're going to take a little bit of a turn here, and we're going to talk about a post-hardcore band from Jersey City, New Jersey.
So when did hardcore?
So how does this work?
Jersey City, New Jersey?
How does this work? Well, let's move on. I'm going to tell you about this band. Okay. This is so cool. This is a cool story. So in the early 90s, while these guys were still in high school, they were called Rye. RYE. And they played hardcore, like chaotic, distorted, screamy vocals with more emphasis on the dynamics and some speed and doing the hardcore thing. And they released their first 2 albums very much in that vein. And then they started doing 7-inch singles. And now these guys are like high school, moving into college. The band's still together and they're releasing things and they're playing locally. And they got labeled emo with some of the 7-inches. So they're like this post-hardcore, and then they get labeled emo because it's in that time frame of when emo was a thing. And over time, they started to adopt kind of classic rock sound mixed with their post-hardcore sound. And in their 2001 release, they got Steve Albini, who we've talked about before. He produced In Utero, Nirvana. He's done amazing work with a ton of bands, mostly in the punk and grunge vein. But they changed their name to Rye Coalition. And with that album that Steve Albini produced, they really embraced kind of that AC/DC Led Zeppelin vibe in their sound. And so it became this kind of mishmash of hard rock and hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was like half AC/DC, half Fugazi, which to me is like a perfect blend, but still kind of awkward for them to be on this episode, but I'm getting to that.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2004, they've done so well that they get signed to DreamWorks. Now, do you remember the DreamWorks label? It wasn't around long.
No,
but
I'm
there
thinking of the cartoon.
Yeah, no, there were
company.
some pretty big groups signed to DreamWorks, but they just didn't last long. And DreamWorks said, "Who do you want to produce your album?" They just had Steve Albini, so where are you going to go from there? And they said, "Oh, we'd like Dave Grohl."
Oh,
no, we'd like Dave Grohl. They got Dave Grohl.
Here, let me pick up the phone. Dave, you available next week? Yeah, okay.
So they got him. And so they produced this album. They go to Sound City Studios. You've probably seen the movie, you know, Dave Grohl did with Sound City. So he actually takes this band to Sound City. He records their album for DreamWorks. And then DreamWorks got completely dismantled by Universal.
Holy shit, how often does this happen? This is the third time in 2 weeks.
Yep. Here's another case. And the album got shelved for years, for a few years.
Dave Grohl produced it and they still shelved it.
They shelved it. And so Dave said, well, screw that, man. I'm going to take you guys out on tour. So this band, Rye Coalition, opened for Foo Fighters in 2006-ish. And he also got them on tour with Queens of the Stone Age and also helped them get a little tour with Mars Volta. Pretty amazing groups to be opening
That's
for.
A good connection to have.
Especially at that time, you know, all these bands are just firing on all cylinders. They finally were able to get their masters after several years, and they independently released this album, I believe in 2006. So I think it was recorded in 2004. It took them 2 years to get this thing back and finally released on an independent, I think local to where they were in Jersey. And this album that Grohl produced, they basically completely abandoned their original sound. And this is a straight ahead, kick-ass hard rock album. And it's amazing. And they titled the album, because of everything that went through or went on with them, they titled the album Curses. And so if you go check out Rye Coalition Curses, you will be a happy person after listening to it. I'm going to play the song that I really think you should have come up with this title. This is so Robert. The name of this song is Between an I-Roc and a Hard Place.
Oh, hell yeah.
To
That had a lot of Ted Nugent in it.
Oh, okay. I was thinking AC/DC, and I heard like an Angus and almost a Jimmy Page kind of thing going on with the lead.
Yeah, it was definitely
But you're right,
classic.
Ted Nugent works in there.
It's straight ahead rock and roll. It's usually kind of fast, and the lyrics talk about let's hit the road. It just seems like something in his wheelhouse. Very classic rock influence, not hair metal at all, but it was fun. So you have that in common with hair metal, that it was just fun rock.
Yeah, I threw it in because I think of when I was really into hair metal in that time frame of mid 80s to late 80s, AC/DC was always part of that. And some of the older bands were as well. So that's why I kind of feel like it still fits.
Yeah, and
all
I was
those
definitely
bands,
more into the classic stuff. While hair band was at its zenith, I was still more into the Led Zeppelin's, Pink Floyd's, because I was just learning all of that. And I didn't have the appreciation yet for the hair metal. So I would have listened to something like this before I would have listened to Nitro or anything like that.
But if you had never heard this before and you heard it, would you have said, "Oh, that's definitely from 2006"?
Yeah, no. I was like, that's
Not at all,
Sticks
right?
with a guest guitarist or something like that.
All right, man. Well, I got one more from you.
All right.
Not from you. I have one more for you. And this is a band from Chicago, Illinois, formed in 2003. And they're pretty much considered sleaze metal, which was kind of that Guns N' Roses thing, Motley Crue thing that was going on Sunset Strip, late 80s. They recorded 3 independent full-lengths from 2004 to 2008. And the band was featured in 2008 as one of Spin Magazine's best new discovery at South by Southwest.
Nudist Discovery?
Best new discovery.
Oh, they said Nudist Discovery. I was like,
No.
Interesting.
No, best new discovery
Okay, sorry.
at South by Southwest.
You know, my hearing's not what it used to be.
Yeah. And then by December of 2008, this band won Guitar Center's On Stage Your Chance to Make Rock History contest. And this was a contest where obviously bands, sent in their songs, and the deal with the contest was if you win this, you get to open for Motley Crue on their winter tour. And then they also won a pile of cash and gear and stuff like that. And this band won. And this band is called The Last Vegas. And they actually toured with Motley Crue on their kind of comeback tour that they did when they released
Which one of them?
That Saints of Los Angeles, when they actually had an album.
Oh,
and they
yeah.
actually toured on an album
Okay.
before they did, just
Legacy.
reunion legacy stuff. Las Vegas. And they ended up, I guess, hitting it off with Nikki Sixx because they signed a deal with his, I guess, record company called 11-7 Music. And they got an album that was produced by Nikki. So pretty cool. So the contest, they actually beat out 8,000 contestants.
Damn.
That's crazy.
A lot of bands.
That's a lot of bands. That's a lot of bands to go through to try to figure out who wins.
Next.
But-
you listen to these 500 bands, and you listen to these 500 bands, and call me tomorrow.
Yeah, so that's kind of crazy. But they signed with Nikki. They get the album out, and basically they released this 4th album, which is kind of a mix of stuff they had done on a previous album and some new stuff, but redone with Nikki at the helm. And they've toured with Motley Crue. Like I said, they've toured with AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, Buckcherry, Papa Roach, and they've even done headlining concerts in several countries worldwide. So not the most obscure band out there, but they've released 2 more albums not on Nikki's label, so I'm not sure what actually happened there, but they've had releases in 2014 and 2016 on, I'm assuming, more independent labels. And then I think they're still around. They're still on Facebook, but it doesn't look like they're playing, so I don't know what's going on. I mean, nobody played last year, but still, not really sure what's going on with them, but I'm going to play something from their 2008 release called Another Lover.
That girl with a pretty face, you wanna kiss, you wanna taste. That girl, what she needs to
I know it's not biologically possible, but if Jesse James Dupree and the guy from Buck Cherry had a love child, that's what he'd sound like.
You're absolutely right.
Like
that was very
50-50
Jackal.
cross. Yeah,
very Jackal.
Yeah, the subject matter, the vocal sound, not necessarily the band, but I mean, the funny thing is that if you take away the vocals, that music, I could picture it in the late 80s, late 90s, 2000s, all the bands that we've played and talked about last episode, that could fit in with so many different eras of music. But the vocals kind of, let you know it's not too old.
Yeah, as I was listening to it, I remembered that I believe I saw this band live. They must not have made a huge impact on me, but I seem to remember. So I took my wife Grace to see Guns N' Roses back when they were touring after the Chinese Democracy came out, and so it wasn't Buckethead, but whoever they had, DJ Ashba, and I forget who the other guitarists were, maybe Bumblefoot, or I can't remember who the other guitarists were, but we saw that version of Guns N' Roses play, and I knew that Guns N' Roses had a habit back then of not really going on stage until close to midnight.
Yeah, they take their time.
And I believe it was the Las Vegas. They went on as the opening act, normal time. So
9-ish.
We're talking even earlier, maybe like 8-ish.
8-ish. It's pretty early.
Yeah, 8-ish, 9-ish. And if I remember correctly, it's been a long time, but I believe it was Tabernacle where we saw them. And yeah, they go on, they do like a standard opening 45-minute set. And then we don't see Guns N' Roses. We stand there for ever. It felt like forever, and Grace was just not having it. She's like, "Where is this? When is this band coming on?" I was like, "Oh, they'll be out. They'll be out soon. They'll be out soon." And then finally, right around midnight, Axl finally, comes out on stage and decides it's time. And they were great, but I think I don't remember the Las Vegas because most of the memory of that night were just trying to keep her from leaving.
Yeah. Oh no, it's like 5 minutes. I saw him. He looked around the corner. That was him.
Yeah.
They're motioning. Yeah, you see the lights coming down a little bit. Totally.
When
they get you another beer.
When they came back with Slash and the Duff version of the stadium tour that they did, they went on time. I don't know what. I remember it must have been
that.
Part of the
part
deal.
of a contract. Yeah, when you're renting out a stadium, you've got more things to deal with than just a small venue like the Tabernacle, which is not that small, but comparatively speaking. Yeah. There's got to be like $100,000 fine for every hour you're late.
But that was always a Guns N' Roses thing, even back in the day.
Oh yeah, whether he would come on stage at all.
Yeah,
you were lucky if you saw him.
Yeah, he might throw his mic down and just leave.
Yeah,
but I'm fairly certain. I'm like 80% sure it was the Las Vegas. Somebody can tell me I'm wrong.
Poor Kevin.
Yeah.
Grace is patient. Memories. She puts up with us, but she's not that patient. To sit there for 3 hours.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Patience.
I'm glad you saw it. I missed it.
Which they didn't play that night.
Really? You stood there for 3 hours waiting for them? No, with that other version, they wouldn't have done that.
No,
that wasn't the Play the Hits tour.
That was, well, they did play some of the hits, but they played a lot of the Chinese Democracy stuff. Let's just say it was a poor choice on my part to take somebody who's not really that big of a fan. I've done this to her several times.
Yeah, well, that's how I ended up going on the Kiss cruise, because you bought a ticket for your wife and then went, "Hey, we got tickets to the Kiss cruise." And she said, "Oh, who are you taking?"
I forgot about that.
Robert. Yeah, that's how I meant to say. I bought 2 tickets for Robert and I to go on the Kiss cruise.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I've stopped trying. I've at least learned by now that I don't do that anymore.
Well, but you got points for asking and trying to include her, because you have to make the gesture, hoping that she says, "No, you go ahead. You just call somebody else."
I don't know if I got that many points because I spent a whole lot of money on myself and not her. So
our liquor bill was ridiculous.
Oh my God, we had a good time though.
It was.
Well, I should say I had a pretty good time. You were in pain.
I was in pain. I ripped my bicep muscle where it attaches to my shoulder, so there was no doctor on board this entire ship apparently. So I drank away my pain, and our liquor bill was almost $600 for 3 days of drinking. A lot of rum.
I tell people, Robert went with me the first time. I don't think he had that much fun, but I completely forget the part that he was in pain the whole time.
Yeah.
Of course he wasn't having fun.
It was all right. I could rock and roll with one hand, and that was about it. So
well, that's what I have for you, man. Hopefully we cracked a few beers, and if you're listening with us, hopefully you cracked a few beers, because that's beer drinking music that we just played. It's springtime. It's time to get out of this funk that we've been in for over a year, and let's party. Until next week, we will see you later.
See ya.